Depreciation means non-cash allocation. These types of cost just imagine or predetermine on the basis of assume pre-plan or assumption or imagine. Then we set the depreciation. Sometimes we set as a rate of depreciation. Sometimes we try to set the amount of depreciation. Just assume or assumption or pre-plan. Okay, not fixed. So for this reason, depreciation is called non-cash allocation. It is a one kind of expense, but non-cash allocation. This cost allocation over the period of the asset. Say, for example, you have a computer, there are useful life or expired date 10 years or 5 years. So every year you have to select or you have to set the amount of loss every year. This loss figure is called depreciation. In other words, depreciation is the diminishing value from the asset. This is called depreciation. This depreciation, every year we try to cut down from our asset similarities. If we say the 10% depreciation every year of a asset, you have to or you should maintain the same rate every year. This is the straight line method. So depreciation may be different types: straight line, accelerate, declining method, unit hour, or sum of the year digit. A lots of types of depreciation, but a very crucial types we try to discuss. Okay. So there are depreciation and meaning plus causes plus factor. Gradually, I try to discuss about a depreciation. At first, a very simple definition. Depreciation means an accounting method used to allocate the cost of a tangible or physical asset over its useful life. Useful life means expired date. You have a vehicle, you have a computer, or you have any tangible asset, and useful asset or expired date 5 years or 10 years. So every year you have to distribute or you have to cut down a expense on the basis of assumption, on the basis of predetermined. This is the called depreciation. In the broad sense of depreciation, depreciation is the measure of wearing out, consumption, or loss in value of assets that are depreciable due to use, time period, obsolescence, due to new technology and market sense. So there are a lot of causes to occur the depreciation. Out of them, some basic or common component for depreciation: time expired. Time are going on the basis of uh, time expired, depreciation are run. Due to technology change, market price fall, obsolescence. This is the causes of depreciation. Obsolescence means old model and new model. Old model are not popular. So you have, if you made a lot of mobile phone, a lot of telephone, a lot of any kinds of device, but day by day the sample or the design that change. On the basis of the sense of design, your old model may be fall. or maybe collapse. So these kinds of loss or down price is called obsolescence, depreciation for obsolescence. Depreciation is the allocated in order to charge a some amount of money as depreciation amount of is amounting profit during the expected useful life of the asset. That means depreciation is a expense. You just imagine on the basis of your assumption. So for example, you have a computer, you just imagine every year maybe 2000, maybe 3000, maybe loss, value loss. You just select it. This valueless amount or portion is called a depreciation. Depreciation actually determined due to less the profit, due to less the income tax. Okay. If you cannot or if you not maintain the depreciation, you have to give the more income tax. So in this situation, depreciation you have to maintain. Another cause is you have a motorcycle, say for example, but there are expired life 5 years. After 5 years, you have to replace. In that time, a huge amount money to replace because old you gone through and take the new. In this time, your cash money expense or cash money outflow. In this situation, you have to fund to take the new motorcycle. So this fund is called accumulated depreciation. When you try to maintain the depreciation side by side, automatically create the accumulated depreciation a fund. Okay, this fund you have to use to replace such kind of asset or device. Just I try to tell in Bangla, ডেপ্রিসিয়েশনটা হলো অবচয়, যেটাকে বাংলা বলা হয় অবচয় হচ্ছে ক্রমহ্রাসমান, অর্থাৎ একটা অ্যাসেটের প্রত্যেক বছরে তার ভ্যালু ডিক্রিজ হয়, এই ভ্যালু ডিক্রিজকে বলা হয় ডেপ্রিসিয়েশন। আর ডেপ্রিসিয়েশন চার্জ করা হয়, দিস ইজ দ্য ম্যান্ডেটরি অ্যাকাউন্টিং রুলস এন্ড প্রসিডার অনুসারে, কারণ প্রত্যেকটা সম্পদের অ্যাসেটের তার পতন আছে, অর্থাৎ তার মূল্যটা ক্রমান্বয়ে লেস হতে পারে, লেস হয়, এই জন্য ডেপ্রিসিয়েশন চার্জ করা হয়। এই ডেপ্রিসিয়েশন প্রত্যেক বছরে যখন আমরা চার্জ করি, অটোমেটিক্যালি একটা ফান্ড ক্রিয়েট হয়, এই ফান্ডকে বলা হয় অ্যাকুমুলেটেড ডেপ্রিসিয়েশন। কিভাবে তৈরি হয়? মনে করেন আপনার একটা কম্পিউটার আছে, কম্পিউটারের এক্সপায়ার ডেট 2030 সাল পর্যন্ত, তো প্রত্যেক বছর আপনাকে ডেপ্রিসিয়েশন চার্জ করতে হবে মিনিমাম 2000 করে। সে ফর এক্সাম্পল 2000, তো 2004 সাল পর্যন্ত যদি আমরা 4 বছরের ডেপ্রিসিয়েশন চার্জ করি 8000 টাকা, তার 8000 টাকা আপনি খরচ হিসেবে দেখাই দিচ্ছেন। যখন খরচ হিসেবে দেখাই দিচ্ছেন, তখন আপনার একটা এর উপরে প্রফিটটা কম দেখাচ্ছেন, প্রফিটটা কম দেখানোর ফলে ইনকাম ট্যাক্সও কম দেখানো হচ্ছে, ঠিক আছে? তাহলে অটোমেটিক্যালি আপনার একটা গেইন পজিশন থাকছে, এই গেইন পজিশন আপনার একটা অটোমেটিক্যালি হিডেন ফান্ড তৈরি হয়ে যায়, এই ফান্ডকে বলা হয় অ্যাকুমুলেটেড ডেপ্রিসিয়েশন। এই অ্যাকুমুলেটেড ডেপ্রিসিয়েশন যখন আপনি আবার নতুন করে ওই আপনার ডিভাইসটা ক্রয় করবেন, তখন আপনার ওই ফান্ড থেকে আপনি ওই ডিভাইসটা বা ওই অ্যাসেটটা আপনি ক্রয় করতে পারেন, তাহলে আপনার ইনস্ট্যান্টলি ক্যাশ আউটফ্লো থেকে আপনি রেহাই পান, ইনস্ট্যান্টলি ক্যাশ, আপনার ক্যাশ ফান্ড আপনার ইউজ করা লাগে না। ওই অ্যাকুমুলেটেড ডেপ্রিসিয়েশন যেটা প্রত্যেক বছর আপনি কেটে রাখেন, ওই টাকা দিয়ে আপনি ওই অ্যাসেটটা আপনি ক্রয় করতে পারেন, এই জন্য ক্যাশের কোনো পরিবর্তন হয় না, আপনার ফান্ডটা ইউজ করা যায়। এটা ছিল মেন উদ্দেশ্য ফর চার্জ অফ ডেপ্রিসিয়েশন। I think you clearly understand about this. Okay. Use for depreciation, causes of depreciation. There are two main causes of depreciation. Number one, internal causes. Number two, external causes. Internal causes depreciation are useful or usable. ব্যবহারিকের মাধ্যমে যে depreciation হয়, wear and tear, that mean use. When you use your asset or your device, day by day value decrease. This is the wear and tear. ব্যবহারজনিত কারণে যে লসটা হয়। Exhaustion. Exhaustion means extraction.
স্ক্রিনটা কি একটু বড় করে দেওয়া যায় স্যার? এটা একটু মিনিমাইজ করা আছে।
Exhaustion means extract করা, অর্থাৎ কালেক্টেড, আহরণ করা। যেমন বন থেকে কাঠ আরোহণ করা অথবা গাছ থেকে ফল আরোহণ করা। This is the exhaustion. In this system, the decreasing value is called the exhaustion. Depletion. Depletion means actually use of mineral resource or mine resource. While you try to extract it, the valuable resource underground from the underground. In this situation, your petroleum or your oil value are decrease. This decreased value is called a depletion for mineral resource. And deterioration, that means in the market condition or fall down. If the market condition or market price or fall due to different causes or circumstance, in this situation called the deterioration. This is the internal causes of depreciation, and other side is the external causes of depreciation. Inflection of time are going on, time are passes. In this causes, the value or price are decreasing day by day or on the basis of time passing. This decreasing value is called the inflection of time. Obsolescence. Obsolescence means model or fall. Old model or traditional model and new model. New model when come to market, old model already damaged or market fall. In this case, you have to face loss. This kind of loss is called obsolescence. Weather and natural calamities. It is a natural calamities. Huge resource or property are damaged by natural calamities or weather. In this diminishing value is called the weather or natural calamities depreciation. This is the external causes. Another permanent fall in market value of asset. Day by day market fall or fall down the price of a asset day by day. This is the called market value fall of asset depreciation. This kind of depreciation is called external causes of depreciation. So there are two angles of depreciation. Number one, internal causes. Number two, external causes. Some information about the depreciation. There are very clear cut definition about the depreciation. Depreciation refers to the allocation of the cost of an asset over time. It is a non-cash expense or allocation. Capitalized cost of asset is allocated through the depreciation. Thus, allocation over the period of the time of a asset. You have to allocate these types of cost. Otherwise, you cannot determine the accurate profit or net profit. There are mentioned the four types of depreciation. A lot of types of depreciation there are, but some basic types of depreciation I try to discuss here. Number one, straight line method. Straight line method depreciation is simple formula: original cost minus salvage value divided useful life. Salvage value means salvage value means the remain price after the use of asset. You can sold out the market, but less price the original price. The less price is called salvage value. Say for example, you have a mobile phone. After using the 3 years or 4 years, you sold out to the market by 10,000, but original price is 50,000. So the 10,000 is a salvage value. So you have to consider, or you have to minus from the original price the salvage value. Only one method you cannot consider the salvage value, but others all types of method you have to consider the salvage value. Original price or original cost minus salvage value. We have to consider this system, but only one method you cannot consider this system. This is the straight line method depreciation, accelerated depreciation method. More depreciation is reported in the initial years of the life of the asset and less the later year. That is the accelerated. Early stage or very beginning stage of the asset, you have to show the more depreciation, and later comparatively you shows the less depreciation amount. This system is called the accelerated depreciation method. Accelerated depreciation method, uh, it is one kind of diminishing depreciation method, and another is a double declining balance method. Double declining balance method, depreciation are double comparatively to other methods. So this method, their common formula, 2 divided useful life into 100. This is the common formula of double declining balance method. Then unit and production method, depreciation, there are formula original cost minus salvage value into life or unit produce or unit or use in the hour or year, anything maybe. Okay, this is the unit or production method. So there are 4 major types of depreciation, but another types have some of the year digit method. Next slide, I try to uh, discuss about the sum of the year digit method. Uh, there are some definition about depreciation method, causes, factor, purpose, anything. You try to own self practice this slide. About the depreciation, there are some rules and regulation. About the accounting rules and regulation, about the depreciation, there are details described about the IFRS and also IAS 16. IAS 16 property, plant and equipment. There are clearly mentioned how what process we have to maintain the depreciation. There are clear cut discussion. So from that angle, some basic information or basic important news or message I try to share with you. At first, the depreciable amount. Depreciable amount means cost of asset minus the residual value. Residual value is salvage value. Residual value, one kind of salvage value. Salvage value and residual value are same. Okay. So cost of asset minus residual value or salvage value is equal to depreciable amount. Useful life, the period over the asset. How many years will run the asset or expired date? This is the useful life. Residual value, the estimated amount of end of asset useful life, end of the asset of useful life. This is the residual amount. Depreciation method, the method chosen must reflect on asset. The method chosen must reflect on the asset. Must reflect on the asset. So this is the concept of depreciation that are clearly mentioned accounting rules and regulations, say for example, IFRS and IAS 16 especially. There are common formula of depreciation, straight line method, unit production method, book value, sum of the year digit, double declining balance method. That uh, the simple formula of depreciation. Depreciation method under IFRS allow the different method of depreciation. These methods are allowed by IFRS. Straight line method, equal depreciation over the year. Every year you have to maintain the same rate or same amount of the depreciation. This is the called straight line depreciation method. Diminishing balance method, higher depreciation in the earlier years and lower depreciation in the next year. This is the diminishing balance method. And unit of production method, depreciation based on uses. How many hours you use, how many production you produce, that depend on the uses. This is the unit of production method. But there are also double declining method, another one, and others one is sum of the year digit method. Two types of depreciation. Here is no mention, but we try to practice the mathematical problem when I actually solve the math about the depreciation. Recognition and measurement. Depreciation starts when the asset is available for use, not when it is purchased. You clearly try to understand about this. When you start the use, in this stage, you have to consider depreciation, other else nothing. If continue until the asset de-recognized or fully depreciated, when you try to recognize or acknowledgement, give the acknowledgement. After get a acknowledgement, you have to determine the depreciation. If the asset useful life or residual value sense, depreciation is adjusted prospectively. Very simple. You have to consider the residual value or salvage value when you try to set or try to maintain the depreciation. Common approach to the IFRS, there are clearly mentioned about the depreciation, how we, what process we can maintain the depreciation here. If an asset consists of the significant parts with different useful lives, IFRS requires each part to be depreciated separately. Okay, depreciation may be whole or a complete asset or part of asset, anything. Clearly mentioned the IFRS. Say for example, aeroplane engine, aeroplane engine and fuels may be different depreciation rate. Aeroplane engine is a broad, but part of this engine you may different depreciation method or different rate. This is the allow by accounting rules and regulation, especially IFRS. Revaluation method and cost method model. This is another system of depreciation. Cost model, asset is carried cost, accumulated depreciation and impairment. Cost method, actually we can call accumulated depreciation and impairment. Accumulated cost, this system is called the cost model. When you try to maintain the cost model in this system, you have to determine accumulated depreciation and impairment. Just I try to tell or discuss about the Bangla. Accumulated depreciation means আপনার যে অ্যাসেটটা আপনি ডেপ্রিসিয়েশন করবেন সিদ্ধান্ত নিয়েছেন 5 বছর বা 10 বছর যাবে, তো 5 বছর বা 10 বছরের টোটাল যে পরিমাণ ডেপ্রিসিয়েশন হয়েছে এই টোটালকে বলা হয় অ্যাকুমুলেটেড ডেপ্রিসিয়েশন। আর ইম্পায়ারমেন্টটা মিন্স রিপ্লেস করা। যখন আপনার ওই অ্যাসেটটার এক্সপায়ার ডেট শেষ হয়ে যাবে তখন আপনাকে এটা রিপ্লেস করতে হবে, এই রিপ্লেস সিস্টেমকে বলা হয় ইম্পায়ারমেন্ট। ওকে, দিস ইজ দ্য কোম্পানি রুলস। You have to must replace after expired date of the asset, other else you uh, may be receive a punishment from the auditor, from the court, or our local rules and regulation. Revaluation model: asset is revalued periodically, depreciation is adjusted accordingly. Revaluation, just you just bidding, or you just try to uh, bidding about the price. After 1 year, after 2 year, you may apply this revaluation model. In this model, you just your asset, you just uh, pick up the market, or you justify the market value, how much of our asset. You may increase the or decrease the price of your asset. This system is called a revaluation method. It is another kind of depreciation method.
Sir, one thing, sir, please. Can I ask a question, sir?
Yeah, after end the class, you just try to make a question because recording process already going on. Okay, the
Okay, sir.
disclosure
Okay, sir.
requirement entries must disclose in there are some rules and regulation you have to disclose or display. Depreciation method you have to display or disclose useful life or rate, total depreciation expense, carrying amount of asset. This four part you have to must clearly mention or clearly disclose. Then you have to maintain any kinds or any method of depreciation. This is the method of depreciation: straight line, declining, sum of the year digit, unit of production. And this is the simple math about the depreciation.